Welcome back, dear listeners, to our second part of the two-part series on drones providing confidence in smallholder agriculture finance. My name is Justus Njeru from MicroSave, the private sector development. And I'm joined by my colleague here, Ms. Ross, founder and managing director of AgriInfo.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Most of the lenders shy away from financing a smallholder farmer because they don't really have the good view of that smallholder. And using your technology, maybe you can tell our listeners what gap does AgriInfo try to fill in?
So first, I just wanted to point out the challenge of why we're doing this, which is in Tanzania, the smallholders in the rural, they measure the farm size where they're working on by walking 70 steps in the length and 70 steps in the width and call that an acre. So just taking a look at that, you know that whether the step is long or short, that makes variability on measuring exactly what is the farm size that the farmer is working on. So the standard unit by itself is a challenge. Therefore, AgriInfo is working with farmers, and we can take an example of the work that we just conducted this year in 3 villages where we actually went ahead and have a survey with the farmers, understanding the farmer profile and the farm profile. What is the size? What are they growing on that? And this basically forms the baseline of the data that can either be added value on by other technologies like the drones doing monitoring, understanding from season to season what is happening on those farms.
Okay, thanks a lot, Rose. And are there specific challenges that you could address that are related to the use of UAV technology in East Africa?
Yes, there are a number of challenges. So deployment of drone technology in East Africa, the challenges could be classified on 4 broad categories. One is technological, there's economical, social, legal, and regulatory. These include capability, reliability, and battery autonomy. So you have commercial batteries for small UAV, mostly around half an hour, minutes of flight, when they're fully charged before the battery has to be replaced. UAV also relies on communication from an on-ground operator for control, which make them vulnerable to signal loss from interference, also flying out of range or hacking. While the demand and provision of UAV services is increasing exponentially where crops are grown or as monoculture. So there's a lot in the space of small-scale farmers, there's a lot of multi-cropping. And that is one of the challenges that is specifically for Africa, where you have smallholder farmers doing multi-cropping on a single farm.
And in terms of the data that comes out, because you collect so much data in terms of the crop, the field, the farm itself, all that information, it also needs to be consumed at a certain level. Right now, how is AgriInfo ensuring that that data is consumed back by the farmer?
So drones can capture very high resolution imagery under cloud cover and at a desired time interval in comparison to satellites. It is this increased ease and speed of acquiring the imagery from drones that has the biggest potential for improving how growers respond to much needed crop husbandry interventions. However, drones, which tend to be equipped with sensors, acquire data, not information. So there's a difference. There's data, you can acquire data, but for somebody to act on something, there have to be some actionable information. So meanwhile, users, especially the growers, want information that they can interpret and utilize. Hence, whatever data is acquired by the drones need to be converted into actionable information for farmers.
Okay, and maybe our listeners would be happy to hear about, after this digital data has been collected from the farm, how is this data going to help in terms of a smallholder farmer accessing financial solutions?
So we think that pairing the local information with soil and climate data like rainfall estimates can help estimate potential of crop yields and potentially also safeguard against adverse weather events. Used in combination, these varying types of farmer data can facilitate a quantitative measurement of the risk and rewards of lending to a farmer, or this which is a population that until now has primarily been bankable only through its own cooperative or hands-on labor-intensive microfinance institutions.
Okay, and probably a listener out there might be thinking maybe drones are used to collect the information that's basically used at farm level, and just only maybe a financial institution can consume that information to finance. But there are other broad stakeholder or players who can also utilize data collected by the use of drone. Maybe you can highlight on some of them.
So we think that this kind of data can be utilized by a number of players, like you said. So credit scoring will be one, credit reference bureau will be one of them, insurers, but as well as processors and input suppliers. They can all leverage this kind of data because they work with the farmer, and being able to know the profile of the farmer that they are working with will be of advantages to them.
Thank you, Rose, for joining us today and also shedding light to our dear listeners on how robotics and artificial intelligence is going to shape access to finance for smallholder farmers in East Africa. Dear listeners, based on our years of experience with smallholder farmers financing in East Africa, MicroSave and AgriInfo are developing a concept that will employ both robotics and artificial intelligence technology to capture farmer-specific farm-level data. This data will be synthesized and create scores that will be used to create tailored financial services for smallholder farmers. This in a bid to encourage uptake of agriculture financial services. We'll also need to create an end-to-end linkages that will provide farmers with input, credit, information, and index insurance. This will be done through creating a profile account for each farmer, and then the platform will enable smallholder farmers to use their mobile to access insurance products, credit, and tailored information as they require. Also, input dealers can also log into the platform and be able to understand more about a small holding and supply inputs at the right time when it's required. We also see opportunity for CRBs or credit reference bureaus where they can get more information about smallholder farmers